again, we are now in the month of October, and October is really where things perk up as far as volatility is concerned. It is the month of crashes. Is it gonna be green or is it gonna be red? I think that's the issue now. And you know, when you come in October, you always have some kind of reservation because it's the month of Black Monday. So, how do we react this October? Let's go to the inside and see this week's review. An exciting review of the markets, and yeah. Go Sugar. We will spot on that call as Sugar gapped up by $1, guys. Please note that this show is only for educational purposes. All trades that you see here should be taken first in a demo account and is meant to reduce your learning curve. Having said that, should you want to take real trades, you should consult your financial advisor first. Although I do trade real accounts, I'm not recommending any of these trades for you. It is up to you if you want to follow me and take it in demo accounts. Thank you very much. Okay guys, so now we're entering the really critical month of October. Okay, so October is known as the most volatile month of all. We've been in trading, you know that all the crashes, especially Black Monday, is in October. But that's what do you call it, an urban legend, most of the time it doesn't happen. But if it does happen, usually it will happen in October, like Black Monday. But please remember that the crash of 2008 happened around May. Sell in May and go away. So anything could happen, but just to remember to be cautious. And of course, when it's October, you will hunt for the red October. It's going to be a bloody sea of October. But October is also the month where, the market gets bullish towards the end of the month, which is like after Thanksgiving, right? So after Thanksgiving, which is Black Friday. And usually Black Friday, not boyfriend, not best friends, Black Friday until May is usually the best months of the year. So we patiently await for October. We know that September is the most bearish month, but just remember that indices crept up in September, so anything can happen. But what I'm worried about now is basically the VIX is slowly but surely chopping up now. Remember that we're the month of crashes, and of course, in this market, there's a lot of geopolitical and also trade risks. You talk about Saudi Arabia, they had events where, the Iranian or some Houthi missile basically struck the largest oil refinery, but now it's back to normal. It's resuming operations back to normal, and suddenly you see oil going down. On the other hand, you see Trump again drumming up the trade wars again. We don't know if he's going to be successful, but man, he is causing a lot of volatility. Like last Friday, he was saying that, he wants to restrict USA investment into China, and also may even delist the Chinese companies in the USA. Well, that caused a momentary downturn on the NASDAQ, kind of gapped down on Monday, but seems to be okay now. So we're going to face a lot of this as we go towards October. So let's just cover the general market before we go into the details now. Lord Sidious will be back in October from Kuwait, so we definitely need a guidance from him, okay, especially on the long-term direction of the market, whether it's going down or up or even going sideways. And, gloom, there seems to be gloom all around now because markets are going up. But at least on Friday, there was some gloom all around the markets, except commodities, which performed strongly. You definitely saw that our cotton and live cattle, wow, they really gave good profits here, okay? And of course, our sugar is really the big superstar, kind of gapped up on Monday like a buck, buck, 120. Was like a 1280 or something. So this has been the superstar. Shows that you need a really balanced portfolio to do this. On the equity side, Trump's rant was pushing markets on Friday, but it was up again on Monday, again because of this issue of limiting the US portfolio investments into China, which definitely would, that would definitely cause trouble. on the cryptocurrency slide, you know, back has proven to be a huge disappointment. Bitcoin just kind of gapped down from 10,000 all the way to 7,000. It's back to 8,400 today. That's a big problem. Gold and precious metal are resilient, but generally are bearish because of, you know, they've experienced this big upside. And of course, anything that's positive to the market could affect gold and also Bitcoin to a sense. So, you know, the thing is now VIX is rising steadily and is a buy. And so what I've learned throughout the years is when that happens, you know, something is going to happen to the market. Don't doubt it. Just make sure that this is going to be a very, very dangerous October. I just want you guys to be ready. Okay, I don't know what's going to happen, but we all know the signs are already there. So we really, really got to be cautious now. So going on ahead now, you know, again, the fact that this is for this week, at least VIX is moving up. Please be cautious. Flashing a buy signal, now flash, 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 which means the market could just turn over. On the commodities side, cocoa and rough rice is bearish. Corn and sugar are bullish. We're going to look at cocoa and rough rice. The commodity currencies are bullish. Could they go up? I like the NZ. I like the Australian dollar. You know, the euro has fallen very, very fast, like 1.0883 or something on a Monday. But are they really due for a rebound? We see the Brazilian real being extremely bullish. This has already impacted some commodities like sugar, which are sold in real, of course. So we go into October full of a suspense. Is it going to be a red October? Are we going to hunt for a red October with VIX going up? And that's where I think you really, really need to be cautious. Don't throw too much caution to the wind. Be very, very cautious. Let's see what it's like in November. So this is the basically the chart of NZUSD. Told you the commodity currencies are going to be bullish this week. So just look at NZUSD here. It's really like fallen off a cliff, okay? Totally fallen off a cliff here. Definitely this is waiting for a rebound somewhere. So when it goes down like this, you know, in an impulsive wave, it's probably going to go up. Now, what we don't want to see is basically something like this, where it starts to consolidate like that, because then it's going to go down some more. And you can see the similar patterns here, okay? See, there was one big impulse to the downside, and yet it just went like that and for another leg down. So that's how the NZUSD works. And, you know, if you look at Australian dollar, it's an even easier pattern for the Australian dollar now. Oh, I just erased that. Let me put here for Australian dollar, AUD/USD, because today on Tuesday is where we had some news on the Australian dollar. So if you look at the Australian dollar, you know, you just draw the trend line there. Yeah, this is like, it's going to be big, and yeah, it's been falling and falling and falling like nobody's business. Definitely, if it does come back up, it's going to come back up pretty big here. Again, we have it really, you know, doing some sort of V here. This is like consolidation, impulse down, consolidation, impulse, impulse up, impulse down, very, very direct here. And it goes up like this, it goes down. But on the other hand, we're betting for it to basically go up like that in another impulse and at least challenge that trend line again. So let's see today. So I like the Australian dollar particularly. Today is when the decision on the interest rates were up, and I kind of like it because I like seeing all this, okay? This impulse down deserves an impulse wave up, or at least a consolidation up like that, okay? Whether it goes down or whether it goes up like that. So I kind of like that because it was channeling for quite some time here, okay? It's really, really in this very, very tough channel here, just broke down to the downside, sorry. Now, another pair that I don't like, that's kind of bullish, because I think that commodities now starting to be bullish, is the CAD. I really don't know what's happening with the CAD. The pattern is not that easy to read, okay, especially if you read it on the daily chart here. Let's go to the daily chart there, not the hourly chart. Let's go down now some more. Yeah, we're going to adjust. That's 45 minutes a day. Yeah, that's that day. Yeah, that's kind of the daily chart here. And if you look at this pattern here, I think this one will be influenced a lot by oil. And if you look at this pattern here, why I don't like it, because, you know, it looks like that oil is, because oil is going down, right? CAD is pretty much correlated to oil. It really looks like it's going to do this and then going down here. And, you know, if oil goes down, then CAD will naturally go down, and hence that would mean that USD CAD will go up. Of course, when you talk about CAD here, there's also a role of correlation to another petro currency, which is in Europe, which is the NOK, right? USD NOK, and of course USD NOK has gone up by quite a lot. So this could also impact the CAD. So you really got to see oil when you want to see this. I'd rather be in the Aussie or the NZD, because I think that will chop up, but chop up slowly and steadily. So now let's go and look at the commodities part. Okay, so it's time now to look at commodities, and what we're going to do here is we're going to relate it also to the real, and you know, see how that can even push sugar, or that rather has pushed sugar higher. So this is cocoa. This is 15 minutes. Let's take a look how it's done. Cocoa has done really, really well. Basically, it kind of bottomed out here. As you can see here, it's about 2,000, yeah, there's about 2,120 here. There was a double bottom here, okay? So, you know what I do is I tend to look at these types of patterns. You see that? That's an impulse. It goes up here, impulse back up, and then impulse back down, and impulse back up. Doesn't even do a correction. And when it does that, you know, when it just rebounds very fast, it tends to go up very, very fast, all the way here to 2520. So, you know, if I were to do this, what do you mean I were to do this? I am doing this, okay? I am doing this. What would I do? No, guys, quite curious, right? What in the world am I gonna do if I do this? Well, I'm going to look for a top around here, because I already see that, okay? When I see this immediately, I see like this is a double top. They tried here again, and if it can go up here, definitely then it will go back down. Now, another thing that I like, another rather commodity that I like is rough rice. No, this is not cocoa, okay? This is RR, is basically rough rice. Let's just put it here so that you guys don't get confused, you know. So these things can be confusing. You just have to type rough rice, and you know it is basically RR. So this is RR. This is rough rice futures. Again, it looks quite toppish here. What I'm basically waiting for, let's go to the daily chart. I like to see more commodities on the daily chart here. So again, I kind of like this pattern of like this, basically this toppish pattern here. If I can see something go back here, I know it's going to go back down. And if it goes back here, up here, you can see how much this can fall, right? So I would thus expect something like that, even down to this level. That is rough rice. And one thing that we were shocked, or rather some of you saw in horror or in ecstasy, if you had, you know, you would have been very ecstatic if you had taken the trade that I was saying is basically sugar. Just look at sugar. Okay, look at that gap up, guys. That was like yesterday, man. Look at that gap up. This is a buck. That was $1. A gap up. That's a lot of worth. Okay, the way we trade, that's worth a lot. Let's go to the daily chart now, man. That was worth a lot. Okay, but yeah, it's struggling here onto a major resistance here. Could consolidate here, maybe even close the gap. Although they rarely do close the gap, but definitely looks like it's going to be challenging that, because by doing this, you know, by having that gap up, man, that really went very, very fast. What you can see for sugar is it kind of broke this downtrend line very, very convincingly. So when you talk about sugar, you got to, you know, I've been warning you guys about the Brazilian real and basically its impact on commodities. This is the daily chart for the real here. So you can look here, there is another double top formation here, okay? And double top formation here. Basically, if the real goes up, then you can see the entire pair of this USD BRL will basically go down, okay? And that's what's happening. So going down means real going up, and everything that's kind of linked to the real should go up. We saw sugar breaking up. Again, related to this, you can also see ethanol. And you guys are adventurous, you can also look at coffee. Now, be careful when you look here, and you know, this is the basically the review for this week. So I hope you guys have fun. Just be careful in October. So you guys know that we all are already on the way of testing our robot now. We'll have a special session on a robot, okay, next weekend. We're going to show you the theory behind it, and you guys can test it out, okay? Okay, guys, that's it for now. So until we meet again, this is Sensei Shukri Hamid with the weekly review. So next week is another exciting review. I'm going to pre-record it because it's probably going to go out around and around to test the trading while traveling concept here in Malaysia, where I get perfect Wi-Fi. Well, at least in Malaysia and Singapore. Okay, so what we're going to do next week is we're going to review the robot, the concept behind the robot, and how Sensei got it working so that you guys can in the future make money while traveling. And this is of course meant to be passive income. So I show you how the theory behind it and how I manage it, so that at least if you want to try it, you know, on paper, then try it first. So don't miss out. Next week is going to be a review on the concept of the robot that we're going to use in order to allow us to invest, travel, and then go to the moon. See you later, guys. Bye.